The Galactic Institute of Advanced Sciences had protocols for everything. Fire suppression systems for Class 7. Plasma accidents. Quarantine fields for dimensional breaches. Emergency evacuation procedures for singularity collapses. But nothing, absolutely nothing, had prepared the administration for the day a human casually strolled through the main gates. Daisy Chen adjusted her backpack and checked her datapad for the third time. Building 7. Advanced Xenobiology. Room 304. First day of the semester. And she was already running late. The morning shuttle from the human quarter had been delayed again. Something about recalibrating safety parameters after yesterday's basketball game had registered as a seismic event on campus sensors. She didn't notice the security systems going haywire as she passed through the entrance. In the central monitoring station, alarms cascaded across every screen in violent crimson waves. Junior technician Vrixtal, a four-armed Zenthari with excellent academic credentials but zero field experience, stared in frozen horror at his console. Apex Predator detected. The system screamed in 17 different languages simultaneously. Threat level? His supervisor, a methodical Thurian named Colt, demanded. Maximum. Biometric analysis indicates forward-facing eyes, optimal pursuit speed, endurance hunter classification. Vrixtal's voice cracked. It's heading toward the academic complex. Colt's scales paled to a sickly gray. Initiate Protocol Omega. Lock down all. Wait. Senior Monitor Thess, a veteran from the Concordat peacekeeping forces, leaned forward. Her compound eyes studied the feed with unnerving calm. That's not a threat. That's a student. A student? Vrixtal's mandibles clicked in disbelief. But the classification systems are designed for actual threats, not humans going to class. Thess sighed. A sound like wind through reeds. Cancel the lockdown. Someone notify campus security that we've enrolled another Deathworlder. Meanwhile, Daisy had nearly reached Building 7 when she encountered her first fellow student. William Torres stood outside the entrance, studying a holographic campus map with the focused intensity of someone hopelessly lost. Hey, Daisy called out. You looking for the Xenobiology building? William turned, relief washing over his features. Thank God. Another human. Yeah. I've been wandering for 20 minutes. Every time I ask for directions, everyone just runs away? Daisy laughed. First day? They'll get used to us. Eventually. What neither human noticed was the cluster of students, various species from across the galaxy, pressed against the far wall, watching them with wide-eyed terror. A Quellian exchange student was quietly reciting prayers to his ancestral protectors. A Vaxil had fainted and was being frantically fanned by her study group. Did you see that? One whispered. The way they smiled at each other? Baring their teeth like that? I heard humans do that before they attack, another hissed back. Predator, social, bonding, rituals. Inside the classroom, Professor Yilson, a distinguished academic with 6 PhDs and scales that shimmered with achievement markers, stood at the lectern reviewing his notes. The semester syllabus was ambitious. Comparative anatomy of sentient species, evolutionary adaptations, survival mechanisms, standard curriculum. Then the humans walked in. The professor's throat sac inflated involuntarily, a reflexive fear response from his evolutionary past. Every instinct screamed danger. Those eyes, the way they moved with such casual efficiency, the unconscious threat assessment they performed while scanning the room for seats. Good morning, Professor, Daisy said cheerfully, selecting a seat near the front. Sorry, we're a bit late. Shuttle delays. William dropped into the seat beside her, pulling out a tablet. Looking forward to this class. Xenobiology was my favorite subject back on Earth. Professor Yilgson's vocal cords had temporarily ceased functioning. After an awkward moment, he managed a weak gesture toward the syllabus hovering above his desk. Welcome, he stammered. Please, Review the course materials. The rest of the class filed in slowly, giving the humans an exceptionally wide berth. A brave Torthan sat 3 rows behind them. Most others clustered at the back or along the far wall. Is it always like this? William whispered to Daisy. Gets better after midterms, she whispered back. Once they realize we're not going to eat anyone. Mostly, William added with a grin. Several students near the back heard this exchange and promptly fled the classroom. Professor Yilgzen cleared his throat and began his lecture, though his eyes kept darting nervously to the humans in the front row. Today we discuss evolutionary advantages and threat response in various species. The ability to detect danger is crucial for survival across the galaxy. Daisy raised her hand. Professor, what about species that evolved as pursuit predators? I've read that they developed interesting adaptations for endurance hunting. The professor's scales rippled with discomfort. Ah, yes. Pursuit predators. Quite terrifying. Really. They can track prey for days. Their prey literally runs until it dies of exhaustion. A horrible way to... He caught himself, remembering his audience. That is a fascinating evolutionary strategy. Humans used to do that, William offered conversationally. Persistence hunting. We'd just jog after animals until they collapsed from heat exhaustion. Our sweating ability gave us incredible endurance advantages. The classroom went silent. You hunted by jogging? A Zenthori student squeaked from the back. Well, yeah, Daisy shrugged. Before we invented weapons, we're actually pretty inefficient predators without tools. That's why we developed problem-solving skills and cooperation. Professor Yilgzen made a notation on his datapad with a trembling appendage. Note to Academic Committee. Revise threat classification protocols. Humans are terrifying, yes, but also disturbingly reasonable. As the lecture continued, something remarkable happened. The other students began to relax, incrementally. They noticed how Daisy carefully avoided sudden movements around the skittish Quellion, how William asked thoughtful questions and actually listened to the professor's answers, how both humans seemed genuinely interested in learning about other species, not hunting them. By the end of class, a brave Vaxil named Sira approached their table. I apologize for earlier, she said softly. When my friend fainted, we weren't expecting. That is, humans have a certain reputation. Daisy smiled carefully, remembering to keep her teeth covered. No worries. We know we're kind of scary. Our planet's pretty much classified as a Class 1-2 death world. Class 1-2? Sira's antennae twitched in shock. The highest survivable classification is Class 9. Yeah, William said. But you seem so. Sira searched for the word. Nice? Most persistence predators are, Daisy explained, gathering her materials. You have to be patient when you're planning to chase something for 3 days straight. Aggression is actually pretty inefficient for our hunting style. We just outlast everything. Sira processed this with visible discomfort. Then, hesitantly, she extended a greeting appendage. Perhaps we could study together sometime? Your perspective on xenobiology would be valuable. Daisy shook her appendage gently. We'd like that. As the 3 students left the building together, the apex predators and their new friend, the campus security systems, continued their frantic monitoring. But Thess, watching from the central station, allowed herself a small smile. Update the student database, she told Vrixtal. Cross-reference humans with harmless, unless provoked, and add a note. Excellent study partners, but the threat classification is accurate. Thess interrupted. They are apex predators. They just choose not to be. That's what makes them truly terrifying. She paused. And also, oddly enough, what makes them good neighbors. Above them, in Building 7, Professor Yilgzen updated his own notes. Humans. Apex predators. Also, ask questions about evolutionary biology. Possible teaching assistance? Revise threat assessment protocols. Send memo to administration. Need more Deathworlders on campus. They make excellent students. Ound. The alarm systems kept screaming. But everyone had learned to ignore them. The humans were just walking to class. After all, and in the end, that was the most remarkable thing about them. End.